everyone. Thank you for your patience and your flexibility. I'm so sorry I wasn't able to present earlier. My computer completely crashed down and it wasn't working for me, so I apologize. My video was on AI, automation intelligence, and one quote that really stood out to me from the video was, quote, "We thought we were searching Google. Who knew it was searching us?" End of quote. And I think that really sums up the concerns that so many of us have when we realize how much information is stored from us that we aren't even aware of, that we may leave traces behind of certain information on different websites or apps that we didn't authorize to be collected or to be taken from us. So that is definitely one of the concerns that was addressed in this video. Also, it's no secret that robots and other technologies are causing a lot of job loss seen all across different industries. And specifically in the video, it talked a lot about the US and China's rivalry with AI and how China is close to almost surpassing the US in terms of AI and the technological advancements that it's made. So there's a lot of rivalry going on between us and China specifically. And that is often compared to oil production in the past. There is also a sense that we're losing some of our democracy due to increased censorship. Even here in the United States, we're starting to see big tech kind of take over and only really promote certain ideologies and ideas and kind of push others to the side or even silence them altogether. And that is definitely kind of scary to see that happen. And so that has been another thing that the documentary kind of highlighted as well. Alrighty, I'm just pulling up the next one here. So, there are many impacts that the video talked about that AI has on society as a whole, and some of those is just realizing and seeing how China has taken AI to an extreme level. And over there, they showed video footage of constant video surveillance. Many people over there use facial recognition to pay for different things. Almost everything is done through phones or the internet or other video services or whatever in China, and it's just crazy to see how that has just taken over in that country. Also, it is interesting to note that while productivity levels have increased, mostly due to AI and robots, wages have decreased for the workers that remain. So they haven't seen the increases in pay for themselves while the amount of product has increased. Also, offshoring has contributed to job loss as well. And so as different foreign people are often brought in to take certain jobs, then a lot of times the local people in that area are left wondering what kind of work will be remaining for them. There is definitely a sense of a winner-take-all mentality, and big tech definitely wants to win in a sense and feel like they are the biggest contender when it comes to different apps or websites. And as we've seen, there's generally just a couple main apps or websites that people use, such as Facebook, Instagram. There's not really a lot of small sites that are competing. In general, it's more of a monopoly or an oligarchy where you just have, 1 to 3 or however many main players. But the rest of them don't really have that much of an influence on the internet and all those things. And oftentimes, especially in China, we've seen how if you have an opinion that is different from the government's opinion, then oftentimes you are punished for that. You don't have access to the economy, you may not have access to public transportation. A lot of the different aspects of a normal life are kind of taken away from you unless you align with their certain narrative. And we're starting to see that a little bit in the United States. Oftentimes, even our own former president, Trump, was taken off a lot of the main platforms. So it's definitely been even experienced over here as well. So a lot of people are wondering how the future of AI will impact everyone around the world, but especially in places that are more advanced already in this technology, like China and the United States. So people are wondering how the censorship issue will prevail in the United States, if it will just become a short trend or a short-lived issue, or if it will become a huge issue that lasts a while for us. Sorry about that. Must have zoomed in or something. So, a lot of people are wondering also about the new job market. A lot of middle class people used to work at factories and other sorts of general jobs, entry-level jobs like that, but now a lot of times they're being taken over by robots, and so people are wondering what jobs will be left for the regular middle-class worker. Some people worry about how much the government should intervene with the internet and these big tech companies and their apps that they put out. And many people debate whether or not the government should be involved, and if so, how much, and if not, who should kind of control these things besides the company. Should there be another person above them that's kind of watching them as well? So that's also been a big debate. And of course, there's always privacy concerns, especially when it comes to the smart speakers and Alexas and all those different devices that people now have in their homes. A lot of times people wonder if their conversations are being recorded, and there have been articles written about how some people's conversations have been recorded and they've been collected and stored, and they're concerned for what purpose and why, and so that can all be pretty alarming as well when you look at those facts. Okay, I'm just pulling up the next slide here. Okay. And so China itself as a country has changed so much even over the past 20 years. They're still a communist country, but they've also had a lot of capitalism influence as well, so that has really helped them experience some more economic growth in their country. And due to AI, there has been a greater disparity now between the rich and the poor. So, of course, there's always been inequalities between the rich and the poor, but especially now, AI has definitely highlighted that to an extreme level, which has not been a positive effect of the increased use of AI. Some people have seen AI and different technologies as a solution to problems, but other people see AI as the problem itself, and so I think that's really fascinating. Some of the solutions that people are hoping that AI and other advanced technologies can solve are things like climate change or even reducing traffic deaths. So now driverless semi-trucks are starting to be implemented on the highways, and they're controlled by computers or other GPS systems, and so they're told the speed and how to steer and how to go and everything. So it will make the roads a lot safer if we want to eliminate the amount of deaths that are seen every year on the roads. And so some people see that as a really good thing, and other people think that it's hurtful to the previous truck drivers who now are out of a job. And so there is definitely a lot of debate that happens there. So, of course, the main players in this big AI concept are, of course, the big tech companies. And sometimes the government, especially the Chinese government, of course, plays a huge role in the lives of Chinese people. Political parties can also play a big role in trying to control or manipulate what posts get sponsored or promoted or different things like that, and which posts may be more marginalized or put towards the bottom of a page or different things like that. For instance, in the 2016 election, Russia was said to have interfered with different Facebook accounts and different accounts online, and Mark Zuckerberg was on trial for that, and he apologized for any sort of issue that Facebook may have been involved in, and it was just such a mess. But that was a big example of how different countries use technology to manipulate us, and even possibly the election results as well. So yes, there's been, again, just immense job loss as well that has been experienced because of increased AI. Okay, I just have one last slide that I'm pulling up here. So again, I think it's just really important to be wary of what you post, and especially if it involves your location, just to be really mindful of what companies could be collecting that information and storing it or selling it to even other companies. Even your followers, do you really trust them? How could, someone could maybe go to where you are, and in extreme cases, some people have been kidnapped because they posted their location and someone has found that out somehow. And so you just want to be really careful about what you post and on what website, and to look into what the privacy settings are, because that is all super important. And again, yes, just adjust your privacy settings. Make sure you're aware if your location is on or not on different apps and just on your phone in general. And to just realize that if your location is on, someone could maybe be tracking your location. So just to be aware of what services that you have turned on or not. And it's cheesy, but I would just encourage everyone to just use their voice to fight for the change you want to see. So if someone has been censored, or if their account has been removed, or if you've heard of a celebrity or someone you don't even know and they've been affected by censorship or being marginalized online, just don't let that silence you or stop you. Just keep pushing for what you know is right, and don't allow yourself to be silenced. If you have a quote-unquote unpopular opinion, just get creative and find other outlets to express yourself and your ideas. Don't let the big tech win in a sense. If they try to silence you or marginalize you or tell you that your thoughts aren't valid or correct, that they don't align with theirs. Thank you so much for listening.